Okay, welcome back to my channel and my explanation about Kargyud history in general and Drukpa in particular. So I have already, talked to you about, you know, our forefathers or masters who um, existed really in India, not in Tibet. So, Indian masters or Mahasiddhas. I already talked to you about Vajradhara, Tilopa, and Naropa. As you can see, I will show you. So, actually, this is a picture of Naropa. I'll show you better. As you can see here, this is Naropa, Naropa, you know, also, bit, you know, uh, yogi, he's a yogi, so just, wearing a shawl or just a cotton scarf on his body. So actually, he was Kashmiri, Kashmiri yogi. So he who came from Kashmir nowadays, Kashmir, So he's wearing, skull hats on his head and bone ornaments and having a skull cup in his hand and so on. So very ascetic, and realized master. So I don't go much detail about him because I already talked about him. So now it's the time to talk about Master Marpa, who was really the first Kargyud master from Tibet. So he used to travel to India several times because previously he studied under different Tibetan masters like Drumtempa and so on. He studied there, but he was not really satisfied with those masters. He really want to, understood everything, whole picture of the Vajrayana practice, so on. He really wished to go to India now, so he left for India, and there he met Naropa, so the great Siddha Naropa. So now Marpa. So Marpa was a very strong personality. It was very strong and powerful. Big. Huge. Physical body and so on. So his bit. Looks bit. How to say. Powerful. And he lived. 1012 to 1097. That means exactly in the 11th century. He lived, around maybe longer than maybe some other teachers. So probably maybe more than 60 years, around some 70 years. So yeah. So he was in India, and he started to explore different places, and studied under different masters. He went everywhere, Nalanda and all these, Buddhist universities and temples and monasteries. He really studied under many different scholars, and he also learned perfectly Sanskrit language and so on. So that he could translate the whole Tantrayana text and so on. So he mastered actually everything. So some people say he traveled to India for 3 times. Some claim that more than 3 times. Probably 5 times he went to India. So there are some claimings. However, he went there, and spent a lot of time, there, receiving teachings, initiations, and understanding the whole, scenario of Vajrayana practices, so on. Even he how at that time, he had nothing, no transportation, nothing. He just on his food, traveled, and in his personal biography, he says, when I think of my travel to India, I still, experience, that heartbeat, or that, wild travel, and that difficult and that heart-throbbing experience. Let's say, bit, how to say, scary, So that was really, adventurous. Nobody could do that time. He went from India. Then he first went to. Interestingly, in Nepal, he went to Nepal. He also visited at that time, golden time, of Buddhist in Nepal. Also, many of scholars of Buddhist were living there. Many of Nevaris, now I call. Nowadays we call Nevaris, who lived the real, let's say, Buddhist Nepalis, who lived there and still living there. We call Pepo from Tibetan side. We say Pelpo. They are Nevaris, who really carried Buddhism, philosophy, practice, arts, and whatever, till today. So they really. Were active. So he met many Nevari students, teachers as well. He received many initiations from them, and sometimes he gave back, some teachings which he took from India for those Nevari students. So there's a place called Parping in nowadays called Parping, where he how to say, received. There is one temple in Parping, temple of Vajravarahi. In that temple resides the self-born Vajrayogini or Vajravarahi. Let's say Vajravarahi, not Vajrayogini, Vajravarahi, one of female goddess, self-born Vajravarahi on one rock. So at that temple, it is still existing. So they are praying, practicing there. I also visited that place. So Marpa used to, live there or stayed there, and he received Vajravarahi initiation there from Buddhist, masters there. So quite long story. So I don't go much detail on that. So he went somehow many times to India. And in India, he met a lot of teachers and masters, and he, in the quest of searching the real, kind of teaching or practice that he was looking for, So he met Master Maitripa, master with many difficulties. He crossed the rivers and jungles and wildlife, and snakes and whatever. He faced a lot of difficulties. Somehow he succeed meeting Master Maitripa, and from Maitripa he received the Mahamudra teaching, so-called Mahamudra teaching of Kargyud lineage. So that teaching is the profound, main kind of teaching of Kargyud lineage. So he got that interestingly. And then he traveling, he was searching for other essential teaching, pith instructions or whatever. He went in the jungle, and then suddenly he met a naked woman, supposed to be a female Dakini, who was the Nikuma. Nikuma was let's say kind of a female goddess, female Dakini, and if I'm not wrong, she gave him Nigu 6 yogas, Niguma 6 yogas. So there's other complete collection of 6 yogas, which is rooted to Niguma, female goddess, or female deity, not directly linked to Narupa. So you see, it's something different, And then he met, Narupa. So Narupa, after meeting Narupa, he was really rejoicing. He was blessed, feeling blessed, very happy, And from Narupa he received 6 Naru yogas and many other practices, initiations, transmissions, whatever which belongs to Kargyud teaching. He got from Narupa. So Narupa gave him everything. What Narupa had to give him, he gave everything. And not only he received Marpa received teachings from Narupa and other siddhas or yogis, he completely translated them. He wrote them. He wrote 6 Naru yogas, and he translated all the texts completely, perfectionately, and wrote down on the text as a text, as a note, and so on, So he also translated all these 4 types of Tantrayana texts. He translated all that, Kriya Yoga, Chaya Yoga, Anuttara Yoga, Maha Anuttara Yoga, and all these things. He translated it in Tibetan script, and also initiations, whatever initiations he got in India, transmissions and teachings he got. All that he translated into Tibetan and written down in the text form, and also the mandala practices and mandala constructions, how to ritualize mandalas and construct a mandala, sun mandala. Nowadays we call sun mandala. So all those teachings, he written down and then took back to how to say, sack of text, on his back. He took, a strong man, he took on his back and to Tibet, went back to Tibet. So he was really, great, and one of the, let's say, pioneer of Kargyud tradition, Kargyud school. So Naropa, you know, prophesied him that in Tibet you will get a disciple called Milarepa, and he will become your main disciple. And he made a praise. Naropa even didn't see or haven't seen Milarepa. He prophesied and made a praise, and he said, in the land of darkness, there will come a yogi called Milarepa, who is like snow mountain peak, and sun comes on it, and it reflects throughout the sky, fill the sky with the light or sunlight. So kind of that, so it's metaphor, so that kind of great disciple you will get in Tibet. And after praising that, he salute to the northern part of India. So in the north lies Tibet actually, so he bowed his head down to Naropa, even bowed down to the direction of Tibet. And so that was the prophecy of Naropa, so quite interesting, right? So let's say so it's quite interesting, when you go through the biographies of all these great masters, all they prophesize, or let's say prophecy, one by one, so let's say Tiloba was prophesied by Buddha, and then Naropa also was prophesied by Buddhas, past Buddhas, and so, and Tilopa, prophesied Naropa that you will also get a great great disciple who is called Marpa, who is coming from all the way from Tibet. So it's a long way, but the authentic disciple. So master and disciple should be like that, karmic related, not just like today. Nowadays we have many students but no authentic student. So that's a bit pity, let's say pity. And so in the personal biography of Marpa himself, he used to say, or he said that the Mahapandita Naropa and the great translator of Tibet, that means great translator means himself, Marpa, he was a translator and master also. Due to good karma, they will meet, and Marpa will study under Mahasiddha Naropa for 16 years and 7 months. So he spent, a lot of time, learning all these things, 16 years, who will spend, nowadays, who will spend 16 years under one master? So, yeah, so that was, really mind-blowing, So that's it. And returning back to Tibet, he got a lot of disciples, many disciples from all over the Tibet, coming to him and learning from him different teachings and so on. So he had many disciples, but from them there are some who are really great, or who are really how to say, meant for carrying his teaching further. So you understood what I mean. So Marpa was a really you know learned, and they got many disciples. So from them, four of them are very very great, and those who carried out his like text-based Tantrayana teachings. Let's say we call it yeah, text-based or whatever you call it, and those disciples were the first is Ngokdun Sherab from Shung, Tibet. Shung is Tibetan Tibet place, and Surdun Wangme from Dong, and Medun Zombu from Medin Zombu from Zangrong. These three, and Milarepa from Kungtang. So four of them were the greatest disciples. So among them, Milarepa was the greatest. Milarepa, who really carried his message, his teachings, without any text. He took the, how to say, whispered Tantrayana tradition. That means he heard all through his ears from his master, and he received it, and then he was blessed, and he practiced it, carried on, and he was kind of realized all the teachings. He got many insights and realizations, wisdoms, and ultimately enlightenment. He got enlightenment stages, and then he was not carrying any text. Just he was just without text. So and that we call it Nyingyu, ear to ear, giving, teaching. So he carried the essence of Kargyud teaching, and practiced it, and then gave it to other disciples. And one of them was, or the greatest, or the main disciple of Milarepa was Gampopa. So Gampopa was the main disciple, and then Gampopa was like a sun, in the sun, sun, bright and intelligent. And then let's say, Milarepa got two main students. One is Gampopa and one is Rechungpa. So they are the main disciples of Gampopa. So you see, as I told you, there are many disciples. Among them, there are one or two, who really carried his Pete instructions and practices further, and succeeded them. So I would like to stop here, and thank you for watching my channel. And hopefully you understood and enjoyed, and keep watching. I will post the other parts. Okay,